Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda, or Swamiji, is a revolutionary spiritual master of our millennium. He walks on a mission to heal the world through the powers of meditation. Swamiji chose to be born as Rajashekaran in the sacred town of Tiruvannamalai in southern India. Mastering yoga and rigorous spiritual practices at a young age, Rajashekaran finally left home for the Himalayas in the quest of the ultimate truth. This quest led his feet to the holiest of pilgrimage spots and to great spiritual masters in India and Tibet. After years of wandering, study, and intense penance, the boy Rajashekaran experienced the ultimate flowering of consciousness on January 1st, 2000. Rajashekaran became Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda. Guided by a divine vision, Swamiji set up Dhyanapitham, a worldwide movement for meditation in Bidadi near Bangalore in India. At the ashram, seekers aged between 8 and 80 live and learn in the Master's presence. Ananda healing, a unique healing science formulated by Swamiji, has been baffling the medical world by curing diseases ranging from migraine to cancer. Qualified individuals are also initiated by Swamiji into Ananda healing. Today there are over 300 healing centers and over 700 healers worldwide. The Ananda Spurana program is an intensive workshop for chakra healing and meditation that brings together philosophies and techniques from the world's major spiritual streams. The Nithyananda Spurana program, or NSP, is an advanced level course where participants work on all their 7 energy bodies. Ananda Yoga is an introductory program to help integrate meditation into our normal lifestyle with practical and powerful techniques to cope with work stress, ill health, and failing relationships. Swamiji also reaches out to people with dhyana satsangs or mass meditation camps that take meditation to the remotest towns and villages of India. Swamiji travels the world committed to spreading awareness about the role of individual transformation in shaping global communities. With a pragmatic vision that links Eastern philosophy to the Western scientific thought, Swamiji continues to awaken humanity to the significance of spirituality in our time.
Brahmanandam Paramashivoham Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Gaganashadrisam Tattvamasyaadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavaditam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Today's subject is mysticism and philosophy. they are printed in a way, Eastern mysticism and Western philosophy. But I wanted to reduce the title, mysticism and philosophy. Because we have a general concept. Mysticism means it is only East. Philosophy means only it is West. It is not true. There are many enlightened persons, great mystics who are born in the West. There are many dull philosophers, dry intellectuals who are born in the East. So both has contributed for mysticism and the philosophy. So we will reduce the title to mysticism and philosophy. What is mysticism and what is philosophy? Philosophy is intellectual, the knowledge, the informations, verbalizations of experiences, memories of the past, assumptions about the future. These are all philosophy. It is more based on logic, collecting the information, analyzing them, coming to conclusion. Mysticism is more like transforming your life. It is the alchemy which happens in your being. The word alchemy you need to understand. Alchemy is the science through which they used to make lower metals to the higher metals. Copper can be transformed as a gold. Mercury can be solidified. The lower level metals will be raised to the higher level metals. Alchemy is the process which makes metals pure. The transformation of the inner being, I call it as ultimate alchemy. Alchemy which happens inside your being. A man becoming God, devil becoming divine. The words becoming realization. This process I call it as alchemy. Mysticism is more to do with alchemy. If you have a problem, physically, mentally or spiritually, how philosophy deals it and how mysticism deals it. If we understand, then we will be able to have a clear view about philosophy and mysticism. The angle of philosophy, the angle of mysticism. Enlightened people always called their philosophy as darshanas. Darshana means you need to understand, darshana does not mean philosophy. Darshana means whatever is seen. Whatever is seen, they are recorded. Those things are always called philosia. New word. Philosia, not philosophy. Philosophy is born out of mind. Philosia, mysticism, is born out of no mind. Philosophy is born out of matter. Mind is nothing but a matter. Mind is nothing but a biocomputer. Philosophy is born out of biocomputer. Mysticism is born out of bioenergy. Mysticism is the outcome of enlightenment. Philosophy is the outcome of intellect. Philosophy comes comes from intellect. Mysticism comes from intuition. Philosophy has got only 120 degree vision. Mysticism sees in 360 degree. That is why the mystics are always represented. The statues or the photographs of mystics is represented always with the third eye. Buddha, Krishna, Shiva, all the mystics. You can see there will be diagram. The third eye will be there. Third eye means the vision of 360 degree. All the sides they will be able to see beyond these two eyes. With intellect, you can touch only the level of head. Intellect is like a communication. Philosophy is a communication between teacher and a disciple, teacher and a student. Mysticism is a communion between master and disciple. Philosophy is the communication between teacher and student. Mysticism is a communion between master and disciple. To learn philosophy, just your head is more than enough. If you are a little bit attentive, that is more than enough. Nothing else is necessary. If your logic is sharp, you can learn philosophy. But to learn mysticism, it is not even learning, it is picking up. To have the mystical experience, you need to put your whole being. Whole being is necessary. Just an intellectual understanding is not enough. If you are in conflict, if you are in confusion, be very clear, still you are intellectual or philosophical, not mystical. The danger is people think themselves as mystics or they are in mysticism, but they are in intellectual or philosophical level. As long as you have confusion, as long as you are in conflict, be very sure you are only philosophical. Once I spoke on the different meditation techniques for intellectual people and emotional people. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, how can I find out whether I am intellectual or emotional? I told him, the very question shows you are intellectual, don't worry. The very doubt shows you are intellectual, because only intellectual people get the doubts. Emotional people will never have any doubt. They are very clear from the first day one. So you can be sure, if you have the doubt whether I am mystical or intellectual, be sure you are intellectual. Any conflict, because philosophy is the outcome of conflict. Mysticism is outcome of love. Philosophy cuts and analyzes. Mysticism unites and heals. That is why mysticism is always represented by the word yoga. Yoga means union. Yoga means union. Again and again unites and heals. Of course, philosophy has got its own use, utility. That is why we let the philosophy be alive. In the outer world, philosophy is the language. Doubt is the language. Logic is the language which can win, which can bring you bread and butter. But unfortunately, man cannot live only with bread and butter. If man can live only with bread and butter, we don't need mysticism. Philosophy is more than enough. Unfortunately, man cannot live only with bread and butter. We need something more than philosophy. If philosophy can satisfy, libraries are more than enough. There is no need for anything more. No need for churches, temples, mosques, or the monasteries. If philosophy is sufficient, libraries are more than enough. But philosophy doesn't satisfy. The language of outer world is philosophy. In the outer world, if you want success, you should know the philosophy, logic, how to doubt, how to question, how to analyze, how to cut. In the inner world, the very language is different. For the inner world, you need only mysticism or the help of a mystic. If you try to test a rose flower with a touchstone, what will happen? There was a man who is a goldsmith, went to his friend's house. The friend showed, see such beautiful roses, how nice they are all. This man asked, I wanted to test whether they are original roses or plastic roses. This man said, go and touch and feel. You can understand whether it's original or rose or plastic. Goldsmith said, no. According to our profession, we test only through touchstone, never through just by touching. So he started plucking the flower roses and rubbing it against the touchstone. Using the touchstone, can he find out whether it's original rose or not? No. Touchstone is useful to find out the gold, to find out the originality of the gold, to work with the gold, but not with the roses. Philosophy, logic is like a touchstone. It is useful in the outer world with gold, but never with the inner world, the inner lotus. With the inner lotus, the touchstone cannot do. The language is totally different. The life has to be totally different. If you want to learn philosophy, you can learn just by words. Verbal language is enough. But mysticism can be learned only by body language. That is why the mystery schools, they call it in Sanskrit Gurukulam. In mystery schools, always it is recommended the disciple should stay with the master. Disciple should stay with the master throughout the day. From morning till evening, disciples are requested to stay with the master. If you want to learn something verbally, you don't need to stay. The concept of school and concept of Gurukulam is totally different. In school, you learn philosophy, you learn words from teacher. Whatever may be the teacher's character, you don't need to bother about it. Whatever way teacher may live, you don't have to worry about it. If teacher can repeat what is in the books, that is more than enough. You don't need to bother anything else about the teacher or the teacher's life. Just if he or she repeats what is in the book, over. You will learn, come away. That is why schools are always part-time. But the mystery schools, when you want to learn something mystical, mysticism, you always need to be with the master. Here, verbal language is not useful. Here, from body language you learn. It is more by his presence than by his words. It is more through communion than by communication. Communication became useless in the presence of the Master. I tell you, whenever you feel you have understood something from Master's words, be very clear, be sure you have misunderstood. Whenever you feel the satisfaction, oh, I am learning so much from Swamiji's discourses, be very clear you are not learning anything. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, I do not know English, can I come to your class discourses? I told him, you are the right person to come and sit there. At least you know, you don't know. People who know the language, they think they know, but they don't know. That's a very, really, it's a pathetic condition. If you know, at least you don't know. You know you don't know. If you don't know that you don't know, you don't even know you don't know. Most of the time, if you think you are learning something from me, you are getting something by attending these discourses, be clear you miss much. The importance of being here is not to listen to my words, but to listen to my silence. Not to listen to my words. If you listen to my words, you will miss the greatest thing which you can have from me. If you have the communication, you will miss the communion. You may ask, then why I am speaking? If I don't speak, you will start speaking within yourself. That is the reason I continue to speak. But if you observe, you can see many times I will be giving unnecessary gaps. For no reason, there will be gap. Those gaps are just to create vacuum inside your mind. Your mind will be just waiting. What is the next word? What is the next word? I give just unnecessary gap. If you listen my tapes, you can understand there will be many places unnecessarily vacuum, empty. People may think Swami is searching for words. A real orator will not give gap. According to the rules of orator, a good orator will never give you gap. But I am not here to orate something or teach you something. I am here to give you something. Teaching is different. Giving is something. Giving is different. If you know how to be aware of the gaps, silence, you will have my presence. I am here, or you are here only to have the presence, not to have communication. If I don't speak, your mind will start speaking to yourself. That is the only reason I speak. So that if I speak, at least your mind will relax. You will stop speaking. If you really stop speaking and start listening, you will start, not only you will start listening, you will see something more will be happening in you. It is the presence of the Master that is important. If you think you are learning, you are missing. If you understand, there is nothing to be learned, there is nothing to be known. If you attend 2-3 satsangs, then you will understand, I am speaking the same thing. I am telling the same thing in different words. Just I am changing the words. Just I am changing the cloth, overcoat, not even cloth, overcoat. Today one color coat, tomorrow different color coat, day after tomorrow different color coat. But the main message is the same. Of course, main message can never change. The same thing I am speaking. Why I am speaking every day? So that I can make you silent. My speaking is more or less like a technique. It is not philosophy. It is not talking. It is not teaching. Actually, I don't want to teach you anything. If we can do something to forget whatever you have learned, that is the best thing. Because in the process of learning, we have lost much. If you understand this one thing, it will be nice. Till the age of 7, children think by visualization, not by verbalization. You need to understand that visualization and verbalization. Till the age of 7, when you say something, children immediately see the scenes. They just visualize and then they process. But once you put them into the school, the visualization is reduced to verbalization. Visualization is just killed, destroyed to verbalization. The intuition is reduced to intellect. There was a great mathematician from India. If you have heard of his name, I don't know, Ramanujam. A great mathematician. In his time, nobody else would even come near him. Ordinarily, other senior mathematicians, if they take half an hour for one problem, this man, this Ramanujam, will give the solution just by a second. To tell the problem, there is a solution. Simply solution is there. But the poor man doesn't know how he arrived for solution. People used to ask him, please give me the way. He says, no, I do not know. Because I think in visualization. Just I see the problem, next vision is solution, over. The thinking is more like intuitive, not intellectual. He just sees the problem, the next slide, the solution is there. Every kid, not only Ramanujam, everybody, when we came to this earth, we had the capacity of visualization. That is why the eyes of the kids are so alive, so vibrant. If you look at the eyes of the kids, that's a great meditation. Below the age of 7, if you just look at their eyes, that's a great meditation. That is why they say the eyes are the index of the mind. Not only index of the mind, index of the being. Whatever is inside will be shown by the eyes. We never look into each other's eyes. Why? Even if somebody looks into your eyes, after a few seconds you just turn away. Because you are afraid he may find out what is inside. In the mouth you show a big smile, but inside you think, let me take care of you later on. Not now. Especially when somebody dies, when you go there to inquire, you can always see people have got a line of violence or vengeance inside. In their mouth they will be telling, oh, he has gone, it is too bad, I feel sorry for you. Inside, oh, he has gone, good, let him go. I was thinking how much he was troubling us. It is good that he has gone. You think one thing, you can speak one thing. In words, you can cheat. In words, we can play. We can think one thing, we can say another thing. But in eyes, you cannot play. In visualization, you cannot play. You cannot play in visualization. Your eyes will show who you are. Your eyes will clearly express what you think. That is why we never let anybody to see our eyes. If somebody looks into your eye deeply, you just turn your eyes. You can find out whether that guy speaks truth or not by looking at his eyes. If he is courageous, then he will again look at he will just gaze your eyes. If he doesn't have enough of courage, you can always see, he will turn his eyes. With kids, they just visualize, they don't verbalize. But when you put them in the school, then whole visualization capacity becomes verbalization. They are taught how to read, how to write by force. At least till the age of 7, kids should not be put in the school. Till the age of 7, they should be allowed to learn with the nature. They have their own inbuilt mechanism to learn. They learn from the trees, learn from the nature, learn from the father, learn from the mother. They have their own method to learn. If we let them learn till the age of 7, the visualization will never become verbalization. The capacity to have the intuition will be retained. But when we put them in the school, the visualization turns into verbalization. Then they start thinking in words. The mind starts working with words. With words, you take long time. With words, you take too much of time to come to any solution. That is the difference between Ramanujam and other mathematicians. Ramanujam thought in visualization. The other persons thought in verbalization. The greatness of Ramanujam is he never went to school. Actually, he had never been to pharmacology school. So that he could retain his visualization capacity, his innocence. When that visualization becomes verbalization, you can understand, instead of eyes being vibrant, tongue will become vibrant. Then visualization is turned to verbalization. It is almost like a psychological castration. I'm using a strong word, but it is truth. Psychologically, the man is castrated. The being is castrated. Because with visualization, any problem, you will have immediate solution. With verbalization, you have to go through a long process to come to a conclusion. Verbalization belongs to logic. Verbalization belongs to head. It is easy to have, but visualization is difficult to handle. A man who has got the visualizing capacity will have a tremendous freedom. He will be so ecstatic, joyful, you cannot put up with him. That is why, from the time immemorial, all the enlightened masters are poisoned, crucified, the stones are thrown, they were thrown out of the country. Start from Shankara, Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, every master. Of course, when the disciples write the history, they try to change. But if you see the truth, you cannot tolerate a more intelligent person among your society or amidst us. We feel too small in front of them. That is why we even reduce the visualization capacity of the kids to verbalization. Once they become just like us, buffaloes, we feel comfortable. Till we make them buffaloes, we don't feel comfortable. No parents feel comfortable. The comfortable with the energy of the kids. They roll this side, that side, do this, do that. You always feel uneasy. You try your best to control them. You try your best to suppress them. Once you make them silent, dull, dead, just like you, then you feel, now you are your son or your daughter. Visualization is reduced to verbalization. Philosophy is always oriented on verbalization. Mysticism is always oriented on visualization. That is why for meditation you need visualization. For philosophy you need verbalization. How philosophy deals your 3 layers of problems. How mysticism deals your 3 layers of problems. Physical illness. All the medicine system, healing system, born out of philosophy, treats the symptom. If you have problem in the lungs, only the lungs are attended. Only that portion is attended by some chemical or by some operation or by some injection. That portion is attended. But we forget to understand, by giving medicine only to that portion. If you have headache, you are given medicine. What happens? Headache becomes stomach pain. Then immediately some more medicine, that becomes knee pain. Then give some more medicine, that becomes psychological depression. When you attend only the symptom or partly, because according to logic, if you attend that portion, it is more than enough. According to philosophy, if you attend that portion, that's more than enough. Because philosophy continuously cuts into pieces and analyzes. So all the system born out of intellect and philosophy touches only the symptom or that portion. We forget body and mind is one system. The healing system, which are given birth by philosophy, by intellect, says body is a biomechanism. But the healing systems, which are given birth by the mystics, always say body is the covering or the sheath of the soul or energy. These 2 concepts need to be understood. When you say body is a biomechanism, you can handle the body just like a machine. If one part of the machine is disturbed, you remove that portion, replace it with the same part. That's enough. In a machine, a lathe machine, if one screw is gone, you just replace that screw. That's enough. With machine, it is perfectly all right. When you say body is a biomechanism, biomachine, you use the same attitude. You handle the body also with the same mind, with the same way. But unfortunately, body is not a biomechanism. Body is something more. And according to the philosophical healing systems, logical healing systems, body is separate, mind is separate. Unfortunately, again, that is wrong. That is why, whenever you treat the symptom or only that portion, disease is only transferred or postponed, never cured. Whenever you take medication for symptom or only the particular disease, you can be sure the headache will be, you will see the headache will disappear. But either Either today or tomorrow it is going to come as a stomach pain. The time which is taken for the headache to become stomach pain, that period only you call it as a period of health. That's all. That gap you think as a healthy time. Either today or tomorrow the process is going to happen. One more thing, a simple thing. Body continuously is circulated or flooded with the same energy. You cannot say, if you have that problem in the lungs, only lungs has got separate energy and whole other body has got separate energy. No. Even in the physical level, physical plane, you cannot say here separate blood is flowing and there everywhere else separate some other blood is flowing. No. So the medicine healing systems which are born out of intellect or the logic or the philosophy cuts and analyzes, treats only the symptom or that portion. The healing system which are born out of mysticism, especially Ayurveda and the meditation healing, they go to the root of the disease. They say there is no different names for disease. No different names for disease. Only two things, either disease or health, that's all. People come and ask me, Swamiji, what all the disease you can heal? I tell them, what do I know? I do not know anything about anatomy. I can heal the disease which you can name and diseases which you can't name. That's all, that much only I can say. Because according to me, according to the meditation healing, only two things. Low energy, high energy. Disease, health, that's all. The root is only one thing, either low energy or high energy. We do not look at the man. The mystics do not look at the man as the biomechanism. They look at him as something more than biomechanism. It is the root which needs to be healed. It is the being which needs to be healed, not the part or the symptom. If you try to cut the trees to destroy if you try to cut the branches and leaves to destroy a tree, can you successful? If you try to cut only the leaves and the branches to kill a tree, you can never be successful. Now they say if you prune a tree, it grows much better way, in a much more quick way. So by treating the symptom, by treating the outer layer, you will not be touching the disease. In the language of the mystics, they touch the root. Go to the very root of the disease. Go from where disease starts, where your being and mind is not ease with each other. The root of the disease is the uneasiness between your mind and your being. The uneasiness only creates this easiness in you. The diseaseness only becomes disease. The healing system which are given birth by the mystics looks at the being as a whole. Whenever you are whole, you are holy. Understand this thing. Whenever you are whole, you are holy. They look at the very being, at the very root, from where the basic disease is appearing, from where the cure can happen, from where the root is coming out, from which point you can remove the very root. The approach to the body or to the human being itself is totally different from the language of mystics. That is why for any disease, the same healing. You may think how the same healing can work on any disease. Because there is no too many names. How many names you make, it is only one thing. Low energy, high energy, that's all. When the energy is attended, many people come to me for healing. They would have come to get healed some problem in the heart. But after 2-3 days they come and report to me, Swamiji, my stomach pain has disappeared. I had a tumor in the hip that has disappeared. How it is? I didn't tell you about that. I always tell them, never think disease are separate. You have 2-3 disease. Never think you have 2-3 disease. Disease means it is only one. It is only one. Low energy, that's all. The whole thing can be classified under one category, under one thing. So when you touch the root, you heal the disease. Whenever you touch the symptom or the part, you only transfer or postpone the disease. When you touch the root, only then you heal it, you cure it. So the mystics' approach towards the body has given birth to the Ayurveda and meditation healing. Whenever it is necessary, some chemicals to be supplied from outside, they give the Ayurveda medicine. Whenever it is necessary, some negativity to be removed from inside, they give the meditation. So the meditation and the medication both are the root of holistic idea or holiness, wholeness. The mystics look at the mind, look at the man in a different way. Philosophers look at the body, look at the mind in a different way. Next, in a mental level, the level of education or information, how the mind is looked by the philosophers. According to philosophy, you are a matured man if you know the informations. According to philosophy, you are a man who has got your own position or a social status if you know the facts and figures. You don't need to do anything more. Just a fact is more than enough. Just figures are more than enough. Just if your mind is alive, active, if your mind has got enough of information, that is enough. That is why all the schools, all the universities, all the mental education centers, mental training centers created by philosophers, created by logicians, helps you to improve your concentration. They speak only on concentration. They speak only on collecting information. They speak only on processing the information. Collecting and processing the information, nothing else. If you know that, that is more than enough. That is why all the schools, universities, they train only on the facts and informations. They make your head too big. Your whole energy is just sucked by the head. And you should know a fact. Just a few months ago I read in a poll survey. In every university, when a person leaves the university with a gold medal, especially gold medalist, every university, at least some 50 to 60 people leave the university every year with a gold medal. Every department will be having a gold medalist. They took a survey. After 10 years, how the gold medalists are living. What is their life? They say more than 70% of the gold medalists live in a poverty land, in a poverty way, and broken relationship. Their lives are just hell. It's not small number, more than 70%. It is true. What I am giving you is a fact from a poll survey. I read it in a magazine. More than 70% either they live under the poverty line, below poverty line, and not only that, broken relationship. The life has become just hell. Why? Too much of energy when it is sucked by the head. You do not know how to forget your head. That's the problem. No, really. You can never live with a philosopher. You can never marry and have a good life with a lecturer or a professor. I tell you, especially philosophy professors. Because even in the house they will be like a teacher. They will be like a professor. See, a doctor, when he comes back to the house, he knows how to remove the stethoscope and keep. How to remove his overcoat and keep. Even a lawyer can keep some of his coat outside. But what will happen to professor? What can he do? He has to keep only his mouth shut, which is impossible. Almost impossible. It is very difficult to live with philosophers. It is really. If you have experience, you can understand. It's very difficult to live with philosophers. Because their way of thinking itself is totally different. They have gone so much away from the reality. They are actually in their own world. They live actually in their own world. That is why almost all the philosophy you can see, they will have a frustrated death. Last phase of their life will be filled with frustration. Because philosophy is like a running into the future. They do not know how to live in the reality. One philosopher, and one more thing, philosophers are the people who will never have pet animals. You can see these are all few things. Philosophers can never put up with pet animals. Because they want everything perfect. They will have no much time to play with pet animals. And you can see them. The philosophers cannot spend much time with kids. Because they need too much of perfection. The idea of perfection is nothing but idea of madness. You can see with philosophers, a continuous idea of perfection will be there. For everything, they want the perfection. They know how to cut things. There are too many symptoms. There are many symptoms to find out whether you are a philosopher or not. Philosophers can never laugh. Even if they laugh, at the most they can smile. At the most, not much. At the most they can smile. Because laughing means you need to forget your head. Actually, laughing means you need to forget your head. You need to forget you know too much. Even if you tell a joke, philosopher, I heard about this joke 10 times ago. 10 times I heard this joke. 10 years ago I read this joke. But even first time you would not have laughed. Because as soon as you read the joke, you will think, oh, it is from like that joke. Okay. It must be from that book. Or you will be thinking, I think this is from my book he has stolen. Intellectual property. You can always see, philosophers can never laugh. Because to laugh, you need to have a little bit of innocence. The life of the philosophers, but one thing is great about philosophers, they will never go to hell after death. Why? They are already living. They can be sure of one thing. They will not go to hell after death. You can be sure of one thing. The life of philosophers is such, they are totally disconnected from the reality. They are totally disconnected from practicality. One philosopher somehow, by mistake, had a cat. It is not that he is bringing up, must be his wife. The cat has given birth to a kitten. Every night the cat used to come and stand outside the house and make noise to open the door. He is totally bored or disturbed to come and open the door. And you can see laziness is always great quality of philosophers. That's one more thing. Because so much of energy is sucked by the head, the body will not have energy. Even when they walk, you can understand, it will be very regularized walking. It will not be like a floating. When a mystic walks, you can see it will be like a floating. When a philosopher walks, you can see it is like a steady, controlled walking. Steady, controlled walking. Philosopher does not mean only a man who has studied philosophy. Even amongst you there are so many philosophers. Amongst you there are so many philosophers. The person lives with a tightness. You can always see he will be philosopher, intellectual. He may be in the other field. Even in the field of art, poetry, painting, dancing, there are many philosophers. Somehow they enter into this field. They enter into this field. It is not that just because you are a doctor, you are not a philosopher. Just because you are a lawyer, you are not a philosopher. When I say word philosopher, I mean persons who are oriented too much on the head. Too much on the head. Too much of idea of perfectionism. Too much of conditioning. Too much of ego. When a mystic walks, you can see it will be like a flower flowing. It will be more like a floating. It will be more like a floating. When the philosopher walks, you can see it will be very straight, more or less like an army man. So this man, someone wants to get rid of this cat. So he called a plumber and told him, make 2 holes, one for a cat, one more for kitten. Wife said, why? 1 hole is more than enough. In that itself, cat and kitten both will come. Philosopher said, keep quiet. What logic you know? You do not know anything about logic. I am a philosopher. When I say do it, yes, philosophers knows the logic. For cat, 1 is necessary. For kitten, 1 more is necessary. But only practical people knows. Plumber knows practicality. 1 is more than enough. The person who is head-oriented will be so much away from the reality. That is why the gold medalist, all the university gold medalists, after 10 years, 70% of them live in poverty, broken relationship. Broken relationship. To relate, you need your being, not only head. I have seen many people coming and talking to me. Swamiji, my husband is such a great philosopher. It is so difficult to relate with him. And male come and complain to me. My wife is such a person of perfectionism. It is very difficult to live with. Whenever someone is philosopher, you can be sure the house which is supposed to be a Dharma Kshetra will become Guru Kshetra. Dharma Kshetra will become Guru Kshetra. Because the philosophy makes you move from the reality. With philosophy, your energy is just sucked by the head. Only head, nothing but head. Just head, head, head. Nothing else but head. With mystics, the training of the mystics, the mystical education centers, ashrams. Ashrams are the mystical education centers. The philosophical education centers are schools and universities. Education centers for mysticism and mysteries ashrams. Ashrams are the mystics. They always train a man not to make his logic or the head too big. They always teach him how to switch off and on the mind. Here, in philosophy, how to collect more and more information is taught. With mystics, how to switch off and switch on, how to use your mind is taught. Here, how to expand your mind is taught. With mystics, how to use your mind is taught. That is why in philosophy, nothing more than mind exists. The ultimate thing according to philosophy is mind, that's all. But according to mystics, ultimate thing is something beyond mind. They call it spirit or the self. They say there is something more than mind exists. Mind is nothing but one more component of your being. Just like you can handle the body, you will be able to handle the mind also. Mystics always teach how to handle the mind. Philosophers always teach how to expand the mind. Expansion of the mind needs concentration. Handling the mind needs meditation. That is why in all the philosophical education centers, the concentration is given importance. Mystical education centers, the mystical training centers, meditation is given importance. Here, awareness, there, concentration. Philosophy gives importance to concentration. Mystics give importance to meditation. With meditation, you know how to handle your mind. It is more or less like one more component, one more part of your system. When you want, you can remove, clear it and reuse it. When you don't want, you can switch it off, keep it aside. According to philosophy, mind is ultimate. According to mystics, mind is only second layer. There is something more in it. That is why in the world of mystics, they are always free from mind. Wherever the mystical education centers prevail, you can see depression has never attacked those parts of the world. In America, only in 2003, last year alone, 103 million depression medication prescriptions are issued. Only in 2003, I thought 103 million is too much. But one of our devotee who is in San Diego, he is a person who is doing research on this. He gave me the clear research survey. 103 million depression medication prescriptions are issued only in America. Why? Because according to philosophy, mind is everything. You do not know, we do not learn how to handle the mind. We learn only how to expand the mind. It's like a purchasing car without knowing how to use the brake. You got a new big car, got into the car, started driving in a freeway. Finally, you have come to your house, but you do not know how to stop the car. What will happen? It means, somebody told me, it means we are not driving a car, Swamiji, car is driving us. That is what is true. When you do not know how to stop the car, you are not driving the car. Car is driving you. Whenever you expand the mind without knowing how to stop the mind, be sure you are heading towards depression. It is inevitable you are heading towards depression. Depression is nothing. It is just too much of energy is sucked by the head. You do not have any more energy left in your being. So the whole being just falls into low energy. That is what is called depression. Depression is nothing but too much of head. Here, so much of training to expand the head, expand the intellect is given, but they forgot a major thing, a very major thing. When you purchase a car, you should read the manual how to put the brake. Philosophers gave importance to expand the mind. Mystics gave importance to switch off the mind. Once you know how to switch off and switch on, you will know how to handle the car. Once you know how to put brake, you will know how to use it. The third layer, the problems of the spirit, or problems of the being. How philosophers handle it. Strange thing. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, is there anything essential missing in psychoanalysis? Why? Even after so many years and years and years of analysis, we are not able to find any result. Somebody came and asked me about a psychoanalysis. One psychoanalyst, actually. I told her, not something essential. The very essential is missing in psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis is the solution for the problems of the being from the philosophical mind, at the philosophical level. What actually psychoanalysis does? What actually psychoanalysis does? Continuously analyzing. That's all. You will be speaking your problems, and the psychoanalyst will be listening the problems. After a year, he becomes patient, you are freed. And you should know a strange truth. Again, a truth actually. They took a survey in which field people became mad. Architect, or lawyer, or engineer, or contractor, or doctor, or psychoanalyst. They took survey in all the fields. The result says psychoanalyst doctors are the people. Only in that profession, too many people become mad. Why? Continuously listening. Everybody vomits on their head. What will happen? They start eating the others' negativities. Not only that, continuously talking. How can you find solution? You will be only analyzing. Going to the psychoanalyst is a fashion, I think. If you go to a bigger psychoanalyst, you are a rich man. It is nothing but a fashion. You can never get a solution. Except solution, you can get everything. I have not seen a single man who underwent psychoanalysis and got healed. There is a small story. In India, to make the kids sleep, they will put the kid in the cradle and mother will start singing. Once there is a kid, as soon as he was put in the cradle, he will just close his eyes and start sleeping. One day mother asked, what is this? All the kids make their mother sing. But for you, as soon as I put you in the cradle, you start sleeping. The kid said, the first day when I listened to your song, immediately I decided from tomorrow onwards, just I'm going to go to the sleep as soon as you put me in the bed. Out of fear of mother singing or being bored, the kid goes to sleep. In that way, in some cases, rarely, out of fear of going to the psychoanalyst and analyst and talking the same thing again and again, you may become alright. You may get well out of the fear of sheer boredom, going to the same person, telling the same problem. I have seen sometimes, and especially the Freudian system, they will have a screen between the patient and the doctor. And you know that sometimes doctors have to attend 2-3 patients. So they record a voice. Yes, tell me. They just record and keep the tape recorder and go away to attend the next patient. No, really it happens. The patient is sitting other side of the screen and telling same thing. And strange thing is, patient also knows there is no doctor at the other side. The other side only, the tape recorder is listening. But just by telling, they feel alright. There is some, at least, they are able to tell. Psychoanalysis is nothing but a place to catharsis, especially in the modern culture. You have no place to speak out. There is nobody to listen. Everybody is busy. Or everybody wants to speak. Even in your conversation, when you speak with your friends, you listen so that when you speak, he will listen. That's all. When he speaks, immediately you are ready to reply. You are just preparing for conversation. Why you keep quiet? Out of simple politeness, so that he will listen when you speak. It's more or less like a contract. Please listen when I speak. I will listen when you speak. Otherwise, nobody wants to listen to the others. Everybody wants only to speak. It's more or less like a catharsis. Because so much is there in the head. You do not even know how to switch it off. What to do? You just vomit out. You want somebody on whom you can vomit out. You pay a psychoanalyst just to listen to you, nothing else. So that you can continuously vomit. Poor fellow has to sit and listen. If any of you are psychoanalysts, be very clear. Either meditate or mad, that's all. No other way. You have no other option. Either meditation, I saw a board in the road, either pick it or ticket. Somewhere where the parking things are there, pick it or ticket. This is the only choice, meditate or mad, nothing else, no other way. Because continuously people are vomiting on you. What will you do? Psychoanalysis is a solution given to the levels of the problems of the beings by the philosophers. But the solution never works. If you are bored, totally, if you are tired of going to the same psychoanalysis, if you yourself decide that I have become alright, then you are alright, that's all. There is no other way of solving it. Enlightenment is the solution for the being level problems by the mystics. Philosophers give the solution of psychoanalysis. Mystics give the solution of enlightenment. Enlightenment means not analyzing, just throwing away. Analyzing your dustbin, is it going to help you? Analyzing your dustbin, is it going to clear you? Analyzing your dustbin is not going to make. To solve the issues. If you want to clean your house, if you put everything from the dustbin, start analyzing it. Is it going to clear your house? Is your house is going to become clean? No. Only by throwing the things totally away, merging into the ananda, ecstasy, the problems are going to be solved. The three things. For a physical problem, they make the energy to come from inside. For mental problem, they teach you how to switch it off. For the being level problem, they put you in the ecstasy or the bliss. The solution from the mystics is total. Solutions from philosophers is intellectual. But for the logical mind, if you look superficially, the healing system born out of logical things feels like good. The education system born out of logical mind feels like good. The solution for the being level problems, psychoanalysis, feels very good because they are the established systems. Mediocre things always flourish because mass is always mediocre. The mystical things are never for mass, it is only for very few intelligent people. For mystical things, you need to have little patience. You need to go through it. You need to allow the process to happen. You cannot just jump. But mind is monkey. Mind is totally restless. It wants instant. A small story. 3 monkeys. They got 1 mango. All the 3 wants to share the mango. How can 1 mango be shared by 3 monkeys? They went to a master for solution. Master said, all right, all the 3 of you, plant this mango. Once the mango tree comes, you will have lot of mangoes. You can satisfy your whole life by eating the mangoes. These 3 monkeys thought, all right. They planted. 1 monkey took the responsibility of pouring water. The other monkey putting the manure. 3rd monkey, security. 6 months, they did their job religiously. But unfortunately, the seed has never sprouted. The tree has never happened. They went to the master to complain. What did you teach? What has happened? We have lost even that 1 mango. Why did you give such an idea for us? The master called all the 3 of them, started inquiry. What has happened? First monkey said, every day religiously I poured water morning 6 o'clock. I stopped even going for a morning walk, but I poured water religiously. Second monkey, every day evening 4 o'clock I put the manure. I stopped even going to the gym. Doing this religiously I did. I do not know what has happened. Third monkey, 24 hours I was standing there as a security. I never even went for my dating. I was there as a security. Not only I was standing there as a security, every day at least once I digged out and saw whether it has sprouted or not. You need to give little space for the mango to sprout. Not only water or the manure, a little bit of space for the mango to sprout. Your very urgency, your very restlessness will not let the mango to sprout. With mystics, you need to give little bit of space, little bit of time to let the meditation work in you, to let their presence working. If you want the plastic rose, it will be available ready-made. But if you want the original rose, you need to wait for a few days so that it can flower. If you get from the market cut rose, don't think it's original rose. When I say original rose, I say the rose with the plant. You need to wait for a few days. So you need to wait. But mind is such, we are not ready to wait. The restlessness, that is why we take the solutions given by philosophers. We take the solutions given by logic mind. When you take the solutions of the logic mind, the philosophy, you solve it only superficially. When you take the solutions given by the mystics, not only you solve it, you dissolve it. Your very personality transforms. Your very being undergoes a new alchemy. Man becomes divine. Man just reaches the ultimate flowering. Just you became enlightened. Your consciousness takes a new dimension. You reach a different space. With philosophy, you will be solving your problems every day. With mysticism, you will be dissolving your problems once for all. So, it is up to us to decide philosophy or mysticism. Let you understand this. Let this understanding lead you to be in, become one with the eternal bliss. Let your being be in, one with the eternal bliss. Nithyananda. Thank you. Few questions can be answered, or your answers can be questioned. Because with a philosopher, your questions will be answered. With a mystic, your answers will be questioned. Your basic question, your basic answers will be questioned. Oh, we have so much of questions. Nice. It means people are shy to ask. We have so many deities and rituals. Is it necessary to follow all this? In the starting time, you don't feel confident on one deity. You don't feel confident on one ritual. You don't feel confident on one technique. You think if he is on leave, he may come and help. If Ganesha is on vacation, at least Kartikeya will come and help. If Kartikeya has gone for dating, at least Muruga will, at least Shiva will come and help. That is why you have so many deities and so many forms. I tell you, if you trust one form, one technique is more than enough. One form and one technique is more than enough. But you need a little bit of maturity to understand one form and one technique. So, if you really want to grow spiritually, if you really want to have the fruit, I tell you, one form and one technique is the right method. If you want to dig a well, 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet in 10 places, if you dig a well, will you get water? In one place, if you dig 20 feet, you will see water. So, it is always good to hold on to one form, to hold on to one technique. Understand that same form only is all the form. It is not that by holding on one form you do disrespect the other forms. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, can I keep your photograph with all the gurus? I tell them there is no need. Your guru is more than enough. That form is more than enough. If just because you have seen me today, it is not necessary you should worship my form. You should bring my form into your picture, your life. There is no need. The very form which you are worshipping already is more than enough. The very form on which you are meditating already is more than enough. Just have clarity in your mind. Don't have conflict in your mind. Same energy is helping us through so many forms. Any one form, if you worship even a stone with a trust, it will become God. If you read the life of Ramakrishna, he says he used to keep a small thread near the nose of the Kali statue. He was worshipping a Kali statue. He used to keep a small thread near the nose of the Kali to feel whether she is alive or not. He says that thread used to move. She used to breathe. She used to breathe. With trust, even the stone becomes God. Somebody was coming and telling me, Swamiji, when I used to meditate on the Venkatachalapathi's farm, Balaji's farm, I used to feel a light, white light. But I am frightened. I stopped doing it. Actually, it's a great experience. The God shows you is an energy. It's not only in one form. So any one form which you are worshipping or towards which your heart is pulled, that one form is more than enough. That one thing is more than enough. Just worship it with more love and more dedication. You will see you grow spiritually. That one form, one technique is more than enough. There is no need to have a conflict, or there is no need to have so many forms, so many deities, so many rituals. One is more than enough. Thank you. Are people close to you physically more blessed and more loved by you? Can we feel close to you being physically away? A beautiful question. I tell you, mark my words. This is a statement I have put in my ashram. Whenever you come and serve me in my room, whenever you take care of me physically, you are near me. Whenever you clean the bathroom of the ashram, whenever you do the ashram work, my mission, I am near you. What you want, you decide. When you serve me physically, you are near me. When you take care of my mission, or when you meditate, when you do your spiritual practices, I am near you. What you want, you can decide. Whether you want to be near me or whether I should be near you. A small example. The bee. Eek enna vaartha? Fly. The fly will go and sit. And the maattu madi enna sollinga? No. Will go maatoda madi paal varudha. Cow? Udder. The fly or the bee will go and sit in the cow udder, but it will drink only the blood, never the milk. 24 hours the bee will be sitting in the cow udder. It will drink only the blood. But the calf will go near the cow only 10 minutes, but the calf will drink the milk. So physically being near me or being away is no way related to the spirituality or being loved by me. You should understand, in the chariot, somebody has to be a wheel, somebody has to be a flag. If the flag thinks, I am not given the opportunity of being near a wheel, being a wheel, then flag did not understand a small thing. You should understand this. Once the Vishnu, he went to Vaikuntha. He entered, before entering into his room, he left the sandals, his shoes outside the room. and went inside the room. Then the conch and the Sangha and Chakra, you can see, the conch and the disc, both of them laughed at the Padri and the satyrs, telling, hey, how much you serve the Lord, how much you put your energy to hold the Lord's feet. You see, when he goes to his room, you are left outside, you are away. You are not taken inside. Only we can go to his room. Only we can be with him in his bed. You see, you are there. We are only going with him. You cannot be physically near him. Then the Padri asked the Lord, "Oh Lord, is it true?" Then Vishnu says, by touching the Paduka, people can become enlightened, but never touching the Shankar Chakra. Not only that, Vishnu says, oh, this conch and the discus told like that. First thing, they did not understand the importance. And next thing, they did not understand the truth. So just for this sake, let them take birth as a Bharata and Chatrugna and worship you for 14 years. He cursed them. Shanga and Chakra only took birth as a Bharata and Chatrugna. 14 years they have to worship that Paduka for this one word. In the Ramavatara, the Vaikuntha when it happened, Vishnu says, both of you take in the next incarnation, let you both take the form of Bharata and Chatrugna and worship the Paduka. And not only that, that is why in Ramavatara, Bharata and Chatrugna has to be away from Rama for 14 years. Only Lakshmana was with him. So never the physical nearness means I accept. You see, understand one more thing, I have only one body, how many can serve me?